Hey everybody, we back again.
We back. Obi-Wan.
All right. I'm Spencer, and of course we have our licensed clinical therapist, Naz.
Dr. Force Nas.
He's very sick
Okay.
today, so don't mind the even more dumbness than you usually get.
I'm a little loopy. Little fruity, too.
Oh,
Fruity Loops. All right. So, this is the Different Spectrums podcast where we talk about movies and shows and mental health and all the aspects that surround those movies and shows. We also like to have some laughs, so don't take us too seriously.
Or do? It's up to you.
Also, don't forget to run up those likes for us. We'd really appreciate it. So, before we get into it, go check out Bub's Naturals and Cure Hydration, both health and wellness products. They're fantastic. I usually use Cure Hydration's hydration pack after I work out. Just put it in a water bottle, shake it up. Grapefruit flavor, my favorite. Yep, shake it up just like that. And then Bub's Naturals, I love their apple cider vinegar gummies. Delicious, perfect for my digestion.
My tum.
My tum-tum. And then also don't forget to check out our merch. We have a ton of it. We have a lot of great stuff. This is not on there because they keep on taking off this flipping hat, which is really good. It's really great. I love it. Every time get that notification, they're like, yeah, we took it off. Like, oh, thanks a lot, spring. Anyways, after that rant, we welcome our regular guest and licensed clinical therapist, Vic. Welcome again.
thank you guys. Thank you.
Hello.
Oh, I get a okay.
Miss Dracula.
Yeah.
Oh, I suck the blood out of people. It's a new one.
Not gonna go
A
there.
new talent.
As we know, Nazir is what we call a sub.
I'm making a lot of faces, people.
I take the pain. So, speaking of Dracula, we are going to be checking out the film Renfield, starring the great Nicolas Cage as Dracula. Yeah, and then we're going to be talking about manipulation, narcissistic personality disorder, and we're going to just be talking about our own personal stories. And then we're also going to be breaking down the symptoms of narcissistic personality disorder. So we're going to be having a lot of great things happening today. Nazir, anything before we get into the clips?
Yeah, let's check out the clips. Then we're gonna come back, break down this personality disorder because everyone's got questions. What is it? Or my partner's got this or they got that. So we want to give some finite stuff, and we're gonna go over that with Spence here. And then for some of the folks, these scenes aren't triggering, but the conversation could be triggering if you're currently going through like domestic abuse or emotional manipulation, stuff like that. Maybe this could be really healthy and psychoeducational. If you find that you're in these type of relationships, though, I maybe wouldn't watch this podcast like while you're around that person. This would be something you would watch on your own time. So be cautious with that. Obviously, this is going to be some funny stuff we're going to talk today, so don't take us too seriously on everything. But know that there's a lot of good stuff we're going to deliver today. All right. Last thing, shout out to a bunch of the guests that we've had in the podcast. We've got a few more that are coming up. So when this airs, would have been through like already 5 or 6, and then we're going to start to have some more come back, and we're updating things, and we're starting to work with some professional sports teams now. So it's getting really exciting on the podcast. We appreciate everyone's love, support, and we've been seeing a lot of people buy the supplements, and so that's really awesome. We've been seeing people buy the merchandise. So really excited. Thank you, folks. Let's get into the scene. Boop boop.
Boop boop.
Ooh.
Shot it.
Hey everyone, before we get into the show, please check out our collaborator, Bub's Naturals. They sell a variety of health and wellness products, including collagen peptides, MCT oil powder, coffee, apple cider vinegar gummies, and other amazing products. Go to bubsnaturals.com and use our code DSP20 to get 20% off your entire order. I just ordered their apple cider and vinegar gummies, and I'm excited to try them. If you are looking for a high-quality, all-natural health and wellness product, Bubs Naturals is a great option. The company offers a wide variety of items that are designed to improve overall health and well-being. So go check them out, and remember to use our code DSP20 when you check out. And with that, let's get into the show.
This is a protection circle, Renfield. He cannot escape. Let us rid this world of his evil, and you can finally be free.
Free? The moment I'm gone, they will lock you away for what you've done for me. I am your only salvation. I am your only friend. I am the only one who cares for you.
I actually remember thinking, he really, really means it this time.
Renfield, we are the last of our kind. From now on, every drop of blood Dracula spills will be on your hands.
Fuck! I was not expecting that.
Please, come in. Close the door.
Shit.
Marvelous attire. Very colorful. You look like the sort of boy who has to fight them off. So, I suppose that's a no as to you bringing me my dinner tonight?
No. No.
No?
No. Not a no.
No, not no.
Yes. Big yes to dinner. A feast, a full feast, Master. In fact, I'm so glad you're here. I was actually, I was on my way to see you.
Oh, you were on your way.
Yes, but I had, too many bodies.
Oh, your bodies.
Yeah, too many. Well, so many bodies that I couldn't carry them all. You should have seen it. The problem is my back has really been playing up. Anyway, the plan is to rent a U-Haul, and that way I'll be able to get all the bodies. You know what? It's so silly, but you don't have to worry. And I won't bother you with my problems.
No. Please. Tell me all about your problems. Tell me all about the gun-wielding criminals who came after you for killing the men because you were protecting so-called innocent people.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Master. I never meant to hurt you.
Hurt me? Are you actually suggesting that anything you could do would hurt me?
No, Master. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that.
No, it's all right. It's
Really?
all right. No, let me explain something to you, okay? I was wrong about you. I should have realized what you were capable of when you were so eager to join me.
I don't think I was eager. I think that you caught me at a low moment and you maybe manipulated me.
No. I used my power for a lot of things, but I didn't need to use it on you. You were a lawyer who wanted to get rich off a real estate deal. You're the one who used me. You used my power because you're a husk. An empty void that nothing can fill. The only thing that gave your life any meaning was my power. The power you used to bring me victims while you pretended to be one yourself. However, I'm the real victim here. I'm the one you swore to protect. And you abandoned me!
That's not true.
Just like you abandoned your wife and your daughter.
That's not... I didn't abandon them.
Look into your own eyes, Renfield. You're the monster, Renfield, not me. It's you.
No. No. That's enough. That's enough.
What?
I will no longer tolerate abuse. Stop laughing. I deserve love. I deserve happiness.
You deserve only suffering.
I know being undead. It's a painful existence. It is, and I empathize with your
Oh,
pain.
please, illuminate me. Let me learn from you. I will find everyone you have ever loved, and I will drain them. I will reduce this
Studio apartment?
studio apartment until it's ash.
Affirmations. I'm enough, and I deserve some happiness. There is some other stuff that I have to say.
These ideas in your head. Of course.
Sweet. Hey everyone, we're back again.
And we're live. Like Dracula. He lied. He's technically dead, but we're live.
You had it, and then you kept going. Like you tied it in and everything, and then you just kept
We're
going.
live like all the
for a
people he
second.
kills until they're dead.
And you keep on going.
I'm
Okay,
done.
well, with that, I am gonna get into it. So, a little bit of backstory. Renfield is about Dracula's familiar. So what a familiar is like an assistant to Dracula / pretty much vampires. Right?
Yeah.
I definitely got it from What We Do in the Shadows, to the good show on FX. And so we follow more his familiar and what he's going through, and we see that he has some stuff. He has some stuff. So he pretty much left his family to be Dracula's familiar, and has lived for a very long time. And so we kind of see the relationship that him and Dracula have, which is more all about manipulation and Dracula being his narcissistic self and things like that. So that's kind of a backstory. I would say the first scene is all about where Dracula actually does show that manipulation for Renfield. Kind of just asking, he's stuck in this circle, right? And he's literally about to die. And then we see Renfield intervene because he's like, oh, he's changed this time. He's changed. Oh, he loves me. He's not gonna be a piece of shit to me anymore. No, he will be.
He's not gonna cheat on me and then beat me later. Sorry.
I was trying to avoid that, and then you just went for it.
Damn.
All right, and then so Renfield breaks the circle, and then Dracula obviously does his thing and murders everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good times. It's intense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rock and roll. I feel better.
All right. Let's get into the scene here. So, what were your I don't want to deal with a word. What were your first thoughts? What were your first thoughts on Dracula himself when you first saw him? Did you like how Nicolas Cage, played him? Do you like the fact that he mainly kept on that narcissism / manipulation throughout the movie? Yeah, like, what were your thoughts on his performance?
Well, he definitely was the right actor for the role. I will give him that. He played it throughout from beginning to end. I don't think they could have picked anyone else. He kind of brings this sarcasm and sense of humor, satire to some of his roles. And yeah, he definitely brought it to this one. Like, I was just like, all right, like, I really feel like I'm watching a Nicolas Cage film. It's, I don't know, the guy just looks weird. So every time I see him act, anything serious, like those weird looks and stares, like, I'm just like, why does he do that? Like, it's just so weird, but he does it so well.
Yeah.
But I definitely think he played the character very well. So I will give him that. And his hair plugs.
Yeah, supposedly there's hair plugs. Yeah. I don't know. It's a thing.
He wears hair plugs.
Quit hating.
Quit.
Just one of the most legendary actors of all time. We don't need to bring up his hair. All right?
Yeah.
I want to see this man just live in his natural state, in his natural state.
Okay,
like LeBron.
Let's not go there.
They're like, LeBron's the best player ever, but he has no hair. And I'm like, really? That's what we're talking about now?
Yeah, I know. Michael Jordan was the baldest motherfucker alive, but yet,
And he accepted it though, right? He accepted the baldness. And that's fine.
Okay. Let's not talk about unnatural surgeries that we do to each other. All right.
Hey,
we can go for days here.
Oh yeah, I mean, I like upgrades too.
Hey,
there you go. So don't hate on Nicolas Cage.
What was that movie where you had to get upgrades? There's a movie where you had to you got all these mechanical upgrades.
Oh, Face Off.
Was it Repo Man?
Face Off.
Not Face Off.
Repo Man.
It was Repo Man.
Repo Man. Yeah,
I think I've seen that one. I've heard about it.
Right?
Yeah.
Jude Law.
I think it was the Forrest Whitaker in it too.
Forrest Whitaker was there too. Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was different. I've seen a lot of different like Dracula movies or vampire movies, and I haven't always seen the familiar in it. And the new FX show, you see the familiar. They treat him like dog shit, but then again, like they're all kind of idiots themselves.
True.
In a lot of the vampire movies, it's usually, they're on this quest or doing this thing. I've seen it where they've been good, the vampires and the leaders, or I've seen it where they've been horrible and just murderers. And this is the first time I've seen this amount of manipulation and coercion. It's very interesting that people think this is the best way to rule someone. And we see this in this film, and we see it in our clients' lives. And we're like, man, how can you not get out of this? How can you not see? I get many people don't. Many people are stuck in it. I mean, shit's messed up. I thought it was well acted out. I love that they made it a comedy. And they made it kind of satirical, the narcissism. And there's a book, and there's group therapy. And they made it so sitcom-esque, so dry. They made it so in your face. This is narcissism. I think a lot of people will like that. If you're looking for just a straight up, wonderful story and drama, and that's other vampire movies. This one's going to be a little funny. Shit blowing up. I enjoyed it. Nicolas Cage is really good at it. I think his voice and his tone, his awkwardness does well with it too. And the subservient dude, I think he just plays really good at being a sub himself. Like, he's just really good at being kind of a pushover. Yeah. I mean, I'm watching it, Spence. I just want to hit you.
Yeah. And it's always interesting that no matter what, with like familiars and things like that, it's like it's always somebody who's a pushover / somebody that they can always manipulate and things like that. Like, for example, in what we do in the shadows, the guy in there, when he's the familiar, he's trying to be a vampire. Like, that's his whole quest, is to be a vampire. And he's like, well, if I work hard enough, they'll let me be a vampire. And then like the next couple episodes, one of them turns just like a random person into a vampire.
Yep.
He's like, what the hell? What is this? So I just find it always interesting that they keep on with that. and that these familiars are always just kind of pushovers and can't really think for themselves. They need other people to do it for them / work for.
And go figure, in that show, he ends up being like the vampire slayer, like Van Helsing type of thing, a descendant, and he ends up being a badass in his own right. Also kind of cool. I think his character in that movie is I think he's gay in that movie. Yeah, he's gay. So that's he's in love with the main vampire dude.
Oh, I didn't know he was in love. I thought you just like admired him.
Oh no, they were like legit. Like he had romantic feelings for him. And then
maybe
later in the show,
that in like the newer season.
Yeah, it was in the newer ones.
That was
yeah,
in the newer ones. Yep. Okay.
And then I think he comes out to like his mom, and they're like, "Yeah, we already knew you were gay." He's like, "What? I was going to tell you I was a vampire killer." Jeez.
Suspense.
Well, that was new. Yeah, I didn't know what to expect from the movie. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the characters. I enjoyed the comedy, and just people just getting annihilated. Don't know if I should have said that out loud. It's been said.
I mean, the blood and all that stuff, I was just like, it was a bit extra, but
it was.
I appreciate the comedy from the female cop, like her raspy voice and just how she acts. Like I love her as an actress. So
I think she's a comedian too, isn't she? A stand-up?
Yeah, she used to be, but I think when she got big in film, she was like, that shit.
Oh yeah, I bet she's making more money now.
That's how it usually goes. So.
Yep. Last thing real quick is sad thing is that, technically he got manipulated into giving up his life, and then he almost manipulates her into giving up her life to save her sister. Right. That whole con game. Manipulators, narcissists, there's something else, man. There's something else. So we can get into the next scene. Or do y'all want to go over the symptomologies? What do you want to do?
I think we should save the symptomology for at the end.
Okay, let's do that.
Have the discussion and then be like, okay, we kind of saw these in these scenes, and we can see other traits as well. So
there we go.
Yeah. So next scene is all about Dracula fully manipulating / really trying to talk down Renfield, because Renfield at this point started getting his own apartment, started living his own life instead of just working for Dracula. And so Dracula finds this out and then goes to his apartment and confronts him about it, right? And obviously throughout the whole movie we see that Dracula only has Renfield, doesn't have anybody else at that moment, and then we see him kind of being like, hey, you're the monster, Renfield, not me. You're the one, even though it's like just saw you like destroy people. Destroy, not even murder, just destroy.
He was drinking a martini glass filled with blood and eyeballs.
With eyeballs.
Yeah, that's his house. Yeah.
Right, but it was classy. It was classy. All right, there's a difference. He may be a monster, but he's a classy monster. Right?
Yeah.
So, and then throughout this whole time, Renfield has been seeing a therapy group or a support group that has to deal with. I want to say like abusive.
I think it's just a narcissist support group.
Is it just narcissism? Okay.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So then, he has this group talking about, narcissism, and he's been able to actually listen to their stories and then feed Dracula their person that's being, narcissistic or abusive or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah. And so now Dracula finds out about the support group, and we don't see it, but he murders them all. I'm not even gonna not spoil it. He murders them all. But yeah, and then so we kind of see how not only does Dracula really talk down Renfield, but then he's trying to also take away the support group that's been really helping him out through this whole time and giving him that support that he needs to get that confidence to finally leave Dracula. So,
yep,
very interesting scene. Good scene.
it is.
Nas, why'd you pick this movie / scenes?
So tying in the first and the second scene, it's well played out. Like we were saying, it's so in your face, the narcissism, the manipulation. I think this specific scene, the first one, you can see him gassing him up, gaslighting him. Don't do what they said, man. I love you. I'm the only friend. So not only is he affirming that he loves him, that he cares for him, but then he's also isolating him from anyone else. Everyone's going to hate you after this. I am the only person that can protect you. I am the only one that makes you powerful. So you affirm them and then you isolate them. So it's just I, me, my. So you block out everyone else. So as soon as they want to run, there's nowhere to run to. In the second scene, you see it even more. You see him strategically manipulate and put all these, I'm moving my hands, people, to like show boundaries. You see him putting up all these speed bumps and roadblocks, right, to where you can't function without that support of that narcissist. He's really good at it. Yeah, he wouldn't just be a narcissist. He would be a sociopath. So he has the antisocial personality disorder. But this, I didn't want to get into that in this podcast because it'd take too long. But not caring of his partner, not caring of anyone else, the grandiosity, just no empathy, no lack of remorse, no just caring. It's just I, me, my. So he has both of those, narcissistic and antisocial, aka psychopath, sociopath. And now that he wants to become the ruler of the world, now we're talking about a megalomaniac, which is a different word, which is this unlimited power. I didn't even know what that word is until this economist said it about a certain individual. And I'm like, that's a nice word. That's a nice megalomaniac. And it's just well done, and it's funny. And so I figured we would do this to educate people, right? This is all about scenes, giving people visuals. If you at all watch this movie or these scenes, and you relate to any of these scenes, or you relate to what the people are saying in group therapy, you need to have some questions. Those of you that watch basketball, I'm not sure if y'all do. There's that Brian Windhorst last year when there was a trade for Utah, and he goes, What does that mean? Someone's getting traded.
There's something going on in Utah.
Something going on in Utah.
What is this guy talking about?
What is this guy talking about? And then the entire NBA explodes.
I know. Yeah.
So if you feel or relate to this, antennas up, ears up, you need to start seeking supports immediately. So that's what I'm doing in this scene. You relate to this, we need to start seeking supports immediately. So let's break into some of this.
Yeah.
And then we'll do some resource talk and then the symptomologies. Vic, I know you had some certain things that you wanted to point out in this scene. Go ahead and shoot it to you. What were the things that you saw in that second scene where you were like, what the hell?
So how Renfield kind of walked through the door and he was like, the fuck is he in my house for? And then he's kind of like, oh shit, like he caught me, moving away from him. I'm kind of separating myself. So now, he has no defense because he's like, oh shit. So now you kind of see him, kind of like small talking, like, oh, like I was going to get back to you. He's in that fight or flight mode. He's like, oh, like, what do I tell him to kind of just buy some time, to kind of pacify him?
Yep.
So he's like, yeah, I was going to get the U-Haul with the bodies. And that shit was funny because you see Nicolas Cage face and he's like, oh, where are you? Like, oh, okay. Tell me more about that.
He keeps going,
Like, yeah, sure. And so eventually, like, as you watch the scene, he's literally backing him into like a corner. And then he's like, I got this book. And he's like, all right, like I've had enough of your shit. Like now I'm about to fight for myself. I'm not afraid of you anymore. I'm sick of your shit and you're being manipulative. And he's like, what is this book? Nicolas Cage is looking at him like, what is this? Like, and he's like, what did I write down? Playing victim. And at first he's like, oh, you're just hurt. And Nicolas Cage is like, no, there's no way I could be hurt. So he's one denying that he could ever be hurt as a person. He's basically like saying I'm superior to everyone else. Like,
Correct.
no one can hurt me. I'm so powerful. Nothing, like I'm untouchable. But then he tells Renfield, you know, he's kind of like playing the victim and trying to twist things around, like, oh, you're abandoning me. And then like, you know, how he abandoned his family because he wanted to be a powerful attorney. And it's like, you know, he's basically telling Renfield, like, if, you know, if it wasn't for me and the things I've done for you, you wouldn't be where you are or had the success that you've had. And it's like, but I'm my own person. I make my own, you know, decisions, but, you know, you can't try to turn that and flip that and say, well, because of me, you wouldn't be where you are. And that's, you know, I think what stood out the most to me in that scene was him saying, after Renfield said, I deserve happiness, he was like, you deserve suffering. And a lot of people who deal with narcissists, that's their end goal. Like, they don't care about your happiness. They just care about power, control, manipulation.
Yep.
And you see all that in that scene.
And you see the people that believe that they deserve suffering. Mm-hmm. And so Renfield said perfectly what that person already thinks in their mind. They deserve suffering, and thus whatever crumbs Renfield gives him, whatever little smidges of food or love, it's enough. It's enough. Sorry to cut you off. I just
nope.
Whoever
I mean, but that's important.
Yeah, whoever wrote this script for these scenes, for some of these narcissism moments, they're very well thought out. Like, this is the playbook.
They did their research.
They did or someone who was writing and went through this shit and then decided to write a vampire book or a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, book. I don't know. Script. Graphic novel. Sorry to cut you off. Well, where were you going? Or was that about it? I'm sorry.
No, that's about it. It's just, you know, when he said you deserve only suffering, it's like, damn. Narcissists really don't care about other people. They just care about their own well-being, and they're just self-centered. They don't care if you're happy or not. It's always at your expense. And a lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people who are going through it, they don't see it until it's brought to light or it's mentioned through a third party, like, hey, I kind of noticed this.
This is sus.
I have personal experience with dealing with a narcissist, and it's like, as a therapist, I didn't even see it until it was kind of brought to my attention. I start evaluating, doing some reflection. I'm like, fuck, how did I let this happen to me? Like, how could I have been so stupid? But sometimes when you're in the thick of things, or you don't know things, you're in routines or patterns, you don't notice stuff until, you know, it's pointed out to you, and you're just like, huh, yeah, I've been manipulated for quite some time. Yep. So it's interesting. Dealing with narcissists is, I have people come to me, I have other women come to me that are like, I want to get divorced, or I'm trying to figure out how to get out of this relationship with my kids, and they're looking at me as a support, and I'm like, I'm not like the saint. Like, I don't understand why people are gravitating to me, and I guess my experience are just like, correct. Well, you've been through it and you've gotten through it. How can I do it? And I'm just like, I didn't think I was going to be like this martyr for people or other women that are going through things that I've been through. But
because people see that you did it, and so if you did it, then maybe they can use you as a consult. So there's a lot of consulting. So you'd have to be very careful and not supporting, because it could be overwhelming to just consult, and then you're like, hey, homie, I don't have the bandwidth. But then you're going to feel like a shitty person, and it could ruin some relationships. But that's when you have to send them to the places where they need to go.
So I had this conversation yesterday with someone where I used to live. The individual, her significant other, has software put on her phone. She's had multiple phones. I told her, I said, you would have to call me and we would have to meet up somewhere. I don't even know if he has access to hear the conversation. True. That is how intense this situation for her is. And I'm just like, I'm trying to get creative. Like, fuck, how can I?
Yeah, you got to be careful with that.
This person.
You got to be careful, because, you know, they could pop off and get mad at you now. So this is what we're talking about. You would be the group support. where, you know, Renfield goes in and just obliterates everyone. So I had this conversation beforehand, is it's a sketchy area sometimes with clients. You know, I've told people we've navigated some waters with bosses, siblings, parents. In the narcissistic rage that ends up happening, I've gotten emails. I've gotten people where they've pulled their partner out of therapy. It's like, damn, you're going to pull the person out of therapy? Okay. Yeah. I've seen it where the clients, where I'm like, we're working on stuff and they're feeling better. And they're like, yeah, I got to stop. I'm like, okay, is what it is. You do what you got to do. In Shrinking, the episode that we did with Lakeith Spence, the young lady that was getting abused, and you know, she puts on a show like she broke up with her boyfriend, but she ends up not telling the therapist and just staying with him, and then at the end she ends up killing him. But you have it where clients will, they're not going to get out of it, and they'll just omit everything. And I'm like, all right, I don't know what, we came here to work on some narcissism stuff, but so yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off again, but people got to be careful with that.
Yeah.
Got to be careful. When it comes to the main parts that I saw in it is, like you talked about, is the shame and the guilt. I did this for you. I did this for you. I did this for you. So now it shows that he or they, that person owns you. That professor, that advisor, that job, they own you. Even Spence, right? How the bosses were talking to you at the previous one. You know, we get you doing this, this, and this. You know, we own you. You have to do this. No, you don't own me. So it's the shame and the guilt that people will use. And then it's the gaslighting, which is faking them out like they don't have their own identity. And like, no, I deserve love. No, you don't. You don't deserve any of that. You're a piece of shit. No one wants you. No one wants you. Why would anyone want you? So no one wants me. And I'm terrible and I'm ugly and I'm stupid and I'm fat or whatever it is. But for some reason you love me. You're the only one that can love me. But I thought I was unlovable. But you love me. Oh, because I'm special or you're special? It's confusing. There's so many ironic, just bullshit. So that's the couple stages. Then the last stage is the victim stage. I'm the real victim because you're a piece of shit because you wanted to use me. So you've been using me the whole time. You're the monster. Oh my God. You're literally eating people and you force this man to work for you to save his family. But somehow he's the monster. But you'll see that narcissists will play the victim. So we call it the manipulation triangle, where they're triangulating you in the middle, and you're just getting bamboozled in this game between where they're the victim, they're the oppressor, right? They're the aggressor. They switch between all these different things and all these different hats, and you don't know what the fuck's going on. You're just kind of sitting there, just taking it all in, scared.
Going along for the ride.
Yes. So that's when I have clients that be like, I'm going to confront this person. Hold them now. Let's talk about what happens if they rage. You going to be safe? They got knives, they got guns, they have they ever touched you before? Do they control your citizenship? Do they control your visa? Like, what do they actually control? Let's get some stuff in place. Housing, accommodations, economics, jobs.
Finances.
Let's get some stuff in place. Let's start making this plan, which is also terrifying and scary if you're in a relationship with children. It can get intense. So I know sometimes me and Spencer were like, leave him. Yeah. But some people are stuck. And the biggest thing is the economics. For a lot of people, especially my students, is they can't just quit, because if they quit, then they have to leave the country, and then you can't come back to the country for a certain amount of time. So they got you by the life strings. Let me use appropriate words.
Yeah, I was thinking something else with the C word, but you know.
They got you by the stuff. And they will flex that and use that power because they know that they got you. That's when all that other bullshit starts. And why do they do that? Because they have no empathy. I don't care about you. I want to take a quick pause. It's interesting. You have these type of manipulators, but then you also have the parents that will do this shit, or bosses. You are a reflection of them. Unless when you achieve shit, it's like awesome, awesome, awesome. And as soon as you get home, it's like, go fuck yourself. I hate you. And then the abuse starts. But long as you're doing good and it looks good on the boss, the parent, or whatever, then they gas you up a little bit, right? They make you feel good. And then they eventually demoralize you and control your world. But you'll see a lot of students where clients, obviously I work with a lot of students, where the narcissistic parent is pushing them to do certain things or make them believe that they are worthless and they can only identify as this one thing, which is an engineer or this type of scientist. And if you do anything outside of that, I'll disown you and I'll hate you. And no one will ever love you because you're a piece of shit. Like, okay. That's intense.
Pretty intense.
That's intense. These are not easy sessions. Technically, in a college setting, I probably shouldn't be working with a lot of those clients because they're not like quick therapy. Colleges are supposed to be like 4 sessions, 5 sessions, 7 sessions. This is like long-term therapy to build you back up, to make sure that you're safe. I can work with it. Yeah, I've worked with everything. But technically, in most college settings, it's not enough time. Those are the main points I wanted to show people. Shame, guilt. They're going to bind you to thinking that you're dependent. Then they're probably going to gaslight you into making you think that you're crazy. And then they're going to play the victim. So when you look at, my boss told me that she gave me these books. One was called The Sociopath Next Door. Highly recommend to read that. You'll read a bunch of case studies about people that, you think sociopaths is just like murderers and serial killers, Jeffrey Dahmer. It's a lot of people that have narcissistic traits. Sociopath Next Door. Then I read The Psychopath Inside. Phenomenal story about a dude that finds out that he's a psychopathic mindset neurology-wise by doing brain image scans. He's one of the lead scientists in the world. He's doing scans on these murderers and serial killers, and then he ends up finding his name that got lumped into the group. And he said, oh, what the hell is this doing there? And then he said, oh, shit. I have psychopathic tendencies in my mind. In neurology. It's interesting. Those are interesting books. If you're looking to work with these things, I would recommend Disarming the Narcissist, or the book called Living with a Narcissist. Or the book that's for borderline/narcissist, which is Walking on Eggshells. Now, if you relate to walking on eggshells, if you immediately relate to that, sus. If you're like, when I walk inside this house and I don't have everything perfect, my partner's going to snap and blow the fuck up on me. I'm worried about abuse, or if, and it's different from like the show me and Spence just talked about, F is for family. That's not narcissistic rage. That's like depression, alcoholism, and trauma. Narcissistic rage is when you're demeaning and belittling someone, and you gain ownership of them. He doesn't treat his wife like that, but technically the dude in that treats his kids like that.
No, sometimes you gotta put them through a fucking wall, I
actually used that in therapy the other day.
Did you?
Yeah. Well, and I didn't say that to a kid, but I said, your dad kind of did you like this character we just watched for the podcast. He said, what you mean? I said, he said, I'm going to put you through a fucking wall. The dad, there ain't no wall outside. I'm going to build one. I'm going to put you through it. She's like, yep. That kind of sounds like Pops. And I was like, that's not good. That's not good. So it's interesting, me and Spence, we do these scenes. Some people relate to these scenes, bro. Scary that they related to that one.
A little bit, yeah.
A little bit. That was my breakdown on this. I technically still want to go over insecure narcissists, but I'll wait to the symptomology ones, and then a little bit more on the narcissistic rage, and then we can do some case studies if we want to.
All right. So in this section of the podcast, we're going to read off some symptoms of that narcissistic personality disorder that we were talking about. And then if we have any case studies, like Naz was saying, that kind of hit home for either one of our therapists, they'll talk about it. So All right, let's get it.
Yeah.
All right. So the first symptom would be have an unreasonably high sense of self-importance and require constant excessive admiration.
If you have an example for that, you can go for it, Vic. I usually tell people, I'm the best. I've got the best people. I'm the best. I've got hired the best people. You know, I'm number one, undefeated. I won everything. Right. I make jokes there, but if you see people that are just, I'm the baddest shit on earth, and you better tell me that I'm the baddest shit on earth. Right. Specifically, you best tell me that I'm the boss.
Yeah, I can relate to the first one. Our previous significant other will always boast, I'm a so-and-so. It's like, we know that. Everyone doesn't need to know what you do for a living. We know what you do. And I think for me, a triggering point was when I went to my first consult with U of M catalog, and said individual was like, I've been up for 16 hours and I'm a da-da-da-da. And it's like, sir, we're not here for you. Like, we're here for a consult for me, but you're making this about you. So I can identify with being around a narcissist that has this unreasonably high sense of self and importance, and I do this, me. And it's like, we get it, you're successful, but we don't need to hear about it all the time, type thing.
And there's a significant serious illness that's in the room right now that we're talking about, which has nothing to do with you and possible sleep issues. There's a lack of empathy in the statements that they make. And this isn't like, oh, that person hurt my feelings. No, this is like a serious issue. And if someone's being disrespectful, right, the narcissism comes out. How dare you take time away from me? Do you understand that my sleep and what I do is everything? Do you understand who I am? It's like, I'm chill out now. Like, Spencer knows I'm winding up. No, I'll stab you now.
There it is.
It was like I could have caged this shit by myself because I ain't getting no support.
Yeah.
And once again, we do not condone any stabbing.
We do not.
On
no,
the
we don't.
Different Spectrums podcast. So anything that he has to talk about stabbing, it's a joke.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Just in case they want to read back that transcript.
Yeah.
You don't get the context. It's like, well,
yeah.
Right.
We explained it.
All right. So we're starting off hot there. Next one. They feel that they deserve privileges and special treatment.
I have some humans that are just so self-involved and inflated, even clients. Like, I deserve this. I deserve everything. The school should do what I said. They should just bend over for me and do this. I'm like, bro, you ain't showed up to class, dog. Like, I shouldn't have to do this and that. Like, you gotta pay your tuition, bro. Like, I help you figure out the money, but like, you still gotta pay tuition. Or when some of my students go, do you know who my daddy is? No, your daddy is, boy. Get out of here.
I barely know mine. What the fuck?
Yeah. It's this self-entitlement without actually having the credentials to have any of the entitlement. So now we're talking about different things, but deserving privileges, I see it a lot in people, especially more fluent, higher socioeconomic status. There's a little bit more narcissism in some of those clients. Right. That's my piece for that one.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Moving on. Expect to be recognized as superior even without achievements.
Vic, you want to take that one?
I feel like, how can I break this one down? I can't really relate that one to the individual that I brought up.
No.
Because they have achievements. But maybe it could be like a coworker or a friend or a relative or someone that they just feel like I had this. You're supposed to just. Oh, I got an example. My mom. You're supposed to just do whatever I say because I'm mom, whether I disrespect you or not, or like the things you do or whatever. Like I'm mom, so I can mistreat you, treat you any kind of way, talk to you any kind of way, but I'm entitled because I have that title of mom, right? So some people might be able to relate to that. I've worked with a lot of people, clients that are like, well, it's my mom, or oh, it's my dad. So because they have that title, I'm supposed to deal with them. And it's like, and not if it's gonna come at the price of your sanity. No,
correct.
And a lot of people have a tough time dealing with that.
The achievement, instead of achievement with family members, it would more be like they expect to be recognized as superior, or like the one, or the shot caller, or the overall godly love, but without any of the actual love and empathy, without actually any of the kindness, without actually any of the support. So you expect me to treat you one way, and yet all you do is demean me, dehumanize me. And let's say my neurodivergent clients, all you do is take away all of my supports, and then you make fun of me about it. The way I act, talk, clothing, and how I need to be, out of certain spaces at a certain time, all you do is demean me. How do you expect me to show you that gratitude? So parents, it can be very difficult. I would say you see it in the workplace where people want to be acknowledged, Spence, and they, I'm the best and this and that. I'm like, do you even code and work? Like, you be late every day. Like, like I literally just heard you just steal Karen's like shit. Like, you didn't even try and make up your own thing. You just said what she said. But like, I put my spin on it. No. So you'll see that a lot in the workplace where people will want to be acknowledged without any of it. It's pretty gross. That one, it's gross, and you see it at work a lot. You're just like, I want to swear, but I'm trying to keep it clean. Like, the dog, you are trash. Everyone knows you are trash.
Yes, and there goes that narcissism. They don't know it.
No, they think they're the best.
There you go. All right, moving on. They make achievements and talents seem bigger than they are. So that kind of plays into the last one a little bit. Moving on to the next one.
Yep.
They like to be preoccupied with fantasies about success, power, brilliance, beauty, or the perfect mate. Weird way to phrase that, but fair enough.
Renfield.
Yeah.
Renfield. Spence, I think if me and you, all the movies we watch, like almost any villain that you think of.
Yeah, pretty much. They don't really have it's mainly on the success and power. Beauty, I would say that'd be more like a lot more women on that part.
The more of the villains and the women and stuff like that. Yep.
Don't get me wrong. I think especially when you talk about like bodybuilders or something like that, right? You can talk about like Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? Like, he's trying to get bigger and bigger, and be more successful with that. But that's a whole different thing. Yep. But yeah, definitely. Seeing a lot in villains.
Yeah, you see a lot of these different villains are usually narcissistic and antisocial.
Yeah.
Good majority of the time there's some trauma that pushed them into that.
Unless it's like cult leaders and stuff like that. Cult leaders, they try to make it so that they're way more social in a way. Now also they are also seen as like, above all and above everyone else and things like that.
So they're still narcissistic, but the cult leaders are so savvy. They're called wooers, and they can woo you off your feet. So I remember, this is a good one. There's this study, these questions that you give. It's called the MMPI, and they did it. And it's one of my boys I was working with. And they did it to him, right? And it showed that he had sociopathic tendencies, Spence. And one of the interns, we were having a case conference, and the interns were like, oh, yeah, I saw that person in the hallway. They were so nice. And I even think he was hitting on me. I was like, yeah, that's my boy. That's my client. And my boss was like, yeah, he's a straight up sociopath that's beating his girlfriend. And she was like, oh my God. My boss is like, yeah, you need to get better at like figuring out who are the wooers.
Yeah.
Spencer, remember
Charisma.
one time? Who's ma?
Charisma. Like they
Charisma.
just naturally
Charismatic.
Yeah.
That's the word.
Yeah, charismatic.
Spence, there was a individual that, right, we brought it up in a couple podcasts ago that got kind of mad that, you know, me and you were hanging out and eating and stuff like that, right? This human said that there were some sociopathic tendencies in that individual. And people know a lot of my clients at the small schools, right? They're around. I'm around everywhere. I'm in the weight pit and all that. But I mean, if you're an unhealthy individual, there has to be extreme boundaries because you are an unhealthy individual. Small campus, right? I'm everywhere. You're in the cafeteria, you sit down, you end up being 3 people that sit next to you. It's a small campus. But yeah, so you've seen them. And we've all seen them in our lives. But Spence had one interaction with one, obviously. That was just a student that I knew, not that I was doing therapy.
Did not like him.
Yeah, it was intense. It was intense. What's the next one?
So the next one would be believe they are superior to others and can only spend time with or be understood by equally special people. Special. I'll put that in quotations. Special.
Yeah.
So I feel like that would go right back into like higher social economic status. Like you're only socializing with people that are equally playing field, if not better, or, you know, like, oh well, we don't talk to those peasants. You know, you can only talk to certain people.
Yeah.
I also believe, though, that, like, I feel like if you're at this level, you can't really see anybody else, like, above you. And even if you do, you're going to make something up to yourself or find something out about them that makes them seem lower than you in some type of way. Right?
No, that's the thing. So, narcissists will always see themselves as the best in the room, the smartest, the prettiest, the richest. Or they'll make up a reason. So synthetically, let's use the word synthetic. They'll synthesize something to make sure that, like Spence said, they're on top. Even if the reality is that they're not. What this is getting at is that they're going to do their best to be around people that are well-to-do. They're not going to do anything unless it's going to help their status. That's it. So even like your social media people, or like your celebrities and stuff like that, there's a lot of the schmoozing of people that are higher up there and still like normies. Some interesting things. You got to be around the best. Anything less, like you said, they're peasants, the commoners.
And these are people that are, when you see them in their like social groups when they're talking, they're like the person that has to be the center of attention. You know, they're telling their stories about how they did this or did that, and, you know, this grandiosity, like, oh, I did this, and they're putting themselves on this pedestal.
The people that one up you when you're having a conversation.
Oh my God!
There you know what? I ate a cheeseburger yesterday. Well, shit, I ate 2 cheeseburgers yesterday. Hey, dog, it's not a competition, dog. Like, I could have ate 7 of them, motherfucker. You see, I'm 350 pounds. I'm sorry. Sometimes it's interesting when people will try to go trauma for trauma with people. I'm like, what are you trying to win right now? Who has the worst trauma?
Those are always fun.
Yeah.
I've experienced that. Like you're trying to tell someone a story about something that happened, and then they're like, oh yeah, this happened to me, and they're telling you the whole story, but it's not to be, you know, inclusive and understanding. It's just kind of like you said, the one up, like, oh, this happened to me. And it's like, yeah, I was just having a moment and being vulnerable, sharing something with you, but you made it about you.
Yep.
Prime example.
You're going to say something about it, Spence?
It's the, you know, it's just the, what's it called? It's the, oh my God, I lost it. Never mind. Moving on.
Damn, I had something and I lost it too. That fucking ADHD is contagious, boy.
Right? And this is like, where am I looking? There's fireworks going on outside.
Yeah, I know there's fireworks.
Yeah, I know. Over here too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like it's the 4th of July or something.
I'm trying to tell you.
I know, right?
I had something to do with that. Oh, real quick. Folks that are neurodivergent sometimes will give you stories If you'll say something, then they'll try to relate to you with like, oh, I've kind of been through something like that, not to one up you. It usually doesn't come off as one uppy, but you'll notice that some of us will give you a story to like, oh, I kind of cognitively get what you're saying, even though I'm not emoting me relating to you, but I get it. So caution on that. You can usually tell. But some people be like, oh, the autistic people are narcissistic. I'm like, no, bro. No. Some, yes. But you're reading it wrong. All right, let's move on.
All right, next one. Be critical of and look down on people they feel are not important. So kind of goes back to the one above, pretty much. Yep. And then we can obviously relate that back to Renfield, Dracula, kind of telling him like,
yep,
I'm looking down on you. You ain't shit
without me. You're literally my dog.
Yeah.
Yep.
You just give me bodies. All right. Next, expect special favors and expect other people to do what they want without questioning them.
Again, Renfield.
Yeah.
Right. You got to do everything and don't question me. Don't talk back. Don't even think that you know more than me. You are shit. You should always know that you're shit. So when I ask you for something, be happy. Because I'm the only one that could love a piece of shit like you.
He wants a bus full of cheerleaders on demand.
Yes. Well, I actually think that, he did ask for a bus full of cheerleaders. Yeah.
He did. Yeah.
And nuns. Yeah.
And nuns. Yeah.
Get the pure blood.
I guess technically that the bus full of cheerleaders is metaphorically, yes, it's literal in this. But in real life, they also want everyone to cheer for them. So you'll see that narcissist wanting the bus full of cheerleaders metaphorically, that support unwavering, unconditional servitude.
Yes, all the time.
I feed you bodies. He said, real quick, he was like, I don't want all these fucking bodies. These bodies are all drug addicts.
He did say that.
He was like, well, this is what we got.
Look at my appearance.
I also love the fact that like in every like satirical vampire movie or show, it's about them ruling the world, and they're just in like these shitty little shanty towns or whatever, not doing anything, because it's like no one rules the world by like just drinking people's blood.
Yeah, you know how many works. Yeah. You'd have to have you'd have to be turning all of them into your servants, and then them turning, it'd have to be a pyramid scheme. One hell of a pyramid scheme.
I'm surprised they never just follow what like other countries do and just infiltrate through that way. Yeah. Whatever. I'm being more realistic in that sense, but I'm like,
can we get some Hydra going on? Yeah. You heard of Hydra?
Just be a Nazi.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ. That's what Hydra is, people, through Marvel. Just making sure that's clear. We do not support any Nazis. I just can't believe I said the word again.
All right, next one. Take advantage of others to get what they want.
Yeah. That's straightforward.
Being manipulative. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Straightforward.
All right. Moving along. They also have the inability or unwillingness to recognize the needs and feelings of others.
This is what Vic was talking about.
There you go.
Yeah. Spot on. The unwillingness, the stubbornness. And then if Vic did get her moment in the sun or whatever, then it's the resentment and the anger and the rage, and then the shame and the guilt that comes after that. I did this for you. I went to your doctor's appointment, so I'm going to need you to do everything for the next like 6 months. You bitch. Oh, you have to go to treatment. Oh, I'm not going to take you. And take care of the kids, and I'm just going to go play video games.
The saddest thing about that whole situation, I took the youngest with me to my appointment, and it took him about a week before he followed up and said, hey, how did that appointment go?
There you go.
Yep.
Sus.
Sus.
Very sus. That's someone's completely checked out, completely self-involved. Also, if you have friends, let's be real. If you have friends that don't like check in, like, hey dog, like, how's the interviews going, or how's the job, or like, how's your sister doing? Because I know she's struggling. Or if you don't like check in about random things, and like, are they your actual friend, or that's just a, I mean, I swear, that's just a person you know. That's a person you mess with, but you don't like mess with.
True.
Yes.
Right. Because we got all different sections of friends, like, you know. But also, a caveat to that is like,
go ahead.
And I said this to a couple friends. I was like, hey, I really feel like I've been a shitty friend. I've been like checking in with you to see if you're okay. And they're like, no, I get it. Like, you're busy and I haven't done the same. And it's like, no, I just want to make sure that I'm letting you know I could have been doing a better job of checking in despite, my life and things I got going on. Like, I'm still at the end of the day your friend. So at least having that open communication with your friends, if you have been kind of AWOL, just check in and have that open dialogue. Like, hey, sorry, I've been MIA. I've had so much shit going, or, I mean, there's stuff that's going on in my friend's life that I didn't even know about till they told me. And I'm like, fuck, that's intense. Like, I'm sorry, I'm just now finding out about that. So you never know what people are going through. But check in with your friends. Like, check in every couple of months. Like, hey, bro, you good?
You good?
Can you talk about anything?
You good? You still can't walk? Nope, you still can't walk. Sorry, Spence.
And that's where we move on. Don't say anything else. Don't want to hear it.
He's like, fuck you.
Nope. Idiot. Be envious of others and believe others envy them.
Yeah. So again, this is kind of what Spence was talking about a few back. Like, you're only hanging around people that are like super high class, but then you kind of like synthetically like deem them to be pieces of shit, but you're also like envious of what they are, what their status is. So like, let's say you're the vice president of this company, then you're going to be completely envious of the CEO or the president or the board of directors. Like, you're always going to be reaching for more, which is quite awesome, but you're always mad at them, and then you villainize them. But then somehow you also make it to where they suck, and it should be you, the rightful king of, what's it called? Lion King. Where do they live in Lion King? The rightful king of.
Don't ask me. My memory is terrible.
I can't remember. What is it? What is it? What is the Zamunda? Whatever it is in Lion King.
That sounds like it.
No, it was from Coming to America. Don't say that.
Yeah, that's Coming to America.
Not right.
It's not right at all. Zamunda.
That was not right at all.
Oh, whatever. Moving.
All right. Fireworks getting everyone distracted. So the next bullet point is behaving in an arrogant way, brag a lot, and come across as conceited.
Oh my god,
girl, you conceited.
I can hear. Yeah, I can talk about this one all day. The X.
Well, you got 5 minutes. So 3 minutes.
Yeah. Not 5 minutes.
That's all he would ever do is brag about his accomplishments. I did this, I did that. They act like they know everything. It's like they don't know everything.
Yep.
Yeah, those are those types.
It's the knowing everything. It's the, again, I, me, my. I'm the baddest. I'm the best. I'm the name brand, motherfucker. You off brand. Yeah. I'm Nike.
Shaq.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, this X I'm talking about, I went to Michigan State. I went to U of M. You went to Western. You finished second team All-American. It's like, bitch, don't talk about my accolades. Like, I worked hard for that shit.
You finished second team All-American.
Like that.
Motherfucker, can you even walk down the block?
Exactly.
Walk down the block.
Like, damn.
Motherfucker, I saw you breathing hard, carrying a stroller, dog. You recognize now. Let me stop. Whenever I get into like stuttering, I'm getting ready to say some violent stuff.
I know.
Real quick. Side quest. This first side quest of today. We are in the meetings, Zoom meetings at work. There's 30 of us in there. And while they were trickling in, they were like, Nas, you want to lead us in a meditation? Shit, I'll do it. I ain't no punk. And so I said, just to let you know, when I do the meditation, just to let you know, I'm going to end it with, so today, folks, now when you go about your day, remember, choose violence.
Oh
My boss about shit his pants. He said, well, moving on. Moving on.
What an ass.
Everyone just literally jaw just dropped. I'm like, okay, so, not everyone vibes with my meditation,
Not everyone has the sense to stab someone.
humor.
Yeah, conceited.
Not like
so.
me.
Not like me. Yeah. Also, really good narcissist. Homeboy from Training Day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Denzel.
Denzel, yeah. He was. If it wasn't for me, you'd be playing basketball in fucking, what was it?
Pelican Bay.
Yeah, Pelican Bay. You motherfuckers do this to me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm King Kong.
I find it also, sidetrack.
Go ahead.
I found it also interesting that movie was happening in like 24 hours. Like, that's fucking crazy. How that.
What do you mean? They shot it in 24 hours?
Oh, it's just one day.
The timeline. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. It's literally one training day. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, damn.
That's why I actually need to go back and watch that.
It's actually amazing still.
Amazing.
So.
Yeah. Another side quest on the side quest from the side quest. I seen that they're doing the Equalizer 3 or 4 with Dakota Fanning or whatever. It's coming out. They start shooting.
What is?
It'll be 4, right?
4?
Where's the 3?
I don't know. Or maybe it's not Equalizer. No, it's not Equalizer. It's him and Dakota or Denzel and Dakota are shooting another movie together.
Wasn't it like Burning?
She was in the first one.
Burning Down or Burn Me Down. Fire. Man on Fire.
Man on Fire. They're making a sequel to that?
I don't know if they're making a sequel. I think they are, or is it just them two are just doing a movie together first time since
those two? Because
I hope it's not Man on Fire.
Died.
So you can't make a sequel. He died. Okay.
I think he died in the movie.
I think you're right.
Yeah, he did.
He gave himself up.
He did. He real did. Last one.
Oh shit.
No, 2 more. Behave in an arrogant way. Brag a lot. Oh wait, I did do that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was the last one.
Math.
Insist on having the best of everything. For instance, the best car or office.
Yeah, that's pretty straightforward. Best of the best. Bigger, the baddest. This is where you get people that start getting into Ponzi schemes. And they start, this is a real narcissist. And you're like, oh, we're going to put them in white collar prison where, they get like 2 years in probation. Like, you realize you just stole like everyone's Medicare and Social Security.
You can do yoga and have ice cream. So.
Yeah. Well, you're like, Johnny, slang some weed and now, But yeah, self-explanatory, dude. Self-explanatory. Best of everything.
Yes.
And you just get people
that kind of already know.
Yep. People stealing money, baddest car, baddest house. You can't even afford the shit, but you gotta put on the look. Stunting. Yep.
Yeah. So, reason why we wanted to really break this down was to kind of get a lot more of an explanation on what being a narcissist is. We did want to compare it to Renfield and Dracula, but we also wanted to kind of break it down and make sure that people really understood what was, coming out of everything. So we want to make sure that, you actually know what a narcissist is.
Yep.
And that if you're in that situation, you can kind of try to get yourself out of it in some type of way. So,
yep.
Yeah.
Last thing is, folks, is Spence said it perfectly. You relate to it. There it is. Disarming the Narcissist, or it's called Handling the Narcissist, The Sociopath Next Door, The Psychopath Inside, Walking on Eggshells. All wonderful books that you should check out. You can get really cheap on Amazon, really cheap. I'm going to link some of them in the description. Be careful when you're reading these books. Be careful when you're listening to podcasts about narcissists, right? If you're on your own free time, okay. If you're in a sketchy relationship, be very cautious. Be careful on advice that you give people that are in abusive relationships like this too, right? Help them seek the right supports, because I don't want your body or entity to be hurt or them to roll up on your house. So good movie, funny movie, a lot of real life applications. I'm glad Spence was able to go over bullet by bullet, because people just don't understand. They think it's just like one thing, or it's a bunch of different things. And if you feel locked in and submitting to something unwillingly, or that peasant type of vibe, seek help, consult. I'm done, boss.
Okay. Anything from you, Vic, before we get out of here?
Like you guys kind of mentioned, if you are in those type of relationships, or if you're dealing with a narcissist, there's different types of abuse. Like Nas said, he'll be posting that information. Just, look through some of those things, because narcissists can manipulate you, whether that's through money, your children. I think you even mentioned like visas. And I know people who are dealing with that, who are in situations where they're trying to get out. And there's steps that you guys can take, especially those of you who have children, you're trying to find your way out. We'll post those resources so that you guys can kind of be prepared and, have the right supports and do it the right way, because we don't want anyone to get hurt.
Yep. I got a bunch of links I'm going to post.
Yeah, keep you guys safe. Like you said, if you can get these books or look at these resources, do it in a safe way. Do it when you can, and just kind of prepare.
Yep.
Stay safe.
Thank you.
Awesome. One thing before we leave, one of my favorite vampire movies. It's called Dracula in Harlem. It's with Eddie Murphy.
I knew you were
and
going
John
to say
Witherspoon.
I knew you were going to say that.
Fantastic. Yep. It's a fantastic movie.
Yep.
Flip flopping and shit. There's a scene in there. It's great.
I can't think of the name of my favorite one, but I can't think of it.
No? Come on.
No, it's relatively new. It's got one of my favorite actors in it. I can't picture the face, but I remember.
Is it just Dracula?
It was one of the newer age Draculas, and he ends up like sacrificing. I think his wife ends up getting hurt or something like that, and then he ends up having to turn her into a vampire to save her life, and it's a whole thing.
Wasn't there one with like Keanu Reeves or Matt Damon or?
Yeah, no, this is relatively new. A lot of people hated it, and I quite liked it.
There's one with Johnny Depp that I liked. I think it was like something in the shadows. I think it was just In the Shadows.
Okay.
Great. I actually really liked it. Great movie. A lot of narcissism in there. So. Of course.
There you go.
Of course. But actually, he was also helping out his family to rebuild them back up. So, something we can always look into. But yes, thank you everybody for joining us. We really appreciate it. Once again, check out Bubs Naturals and Cure Hydration, and you can use the code DSP20 to get 20% off your entire order. Also, go check out our merch. A lot of great stuff in there. So go check that out. And then also go check out our link tree, which has a lot of great resources in there that Nas put together. And so if you do use any of those resources, please tip because Nas put a lot of work into them. So
yep.
Yes. With that, thank you, Vic, for hopping on again. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome.
I love you guys. Thank you.
I feel love.
My precious.
Okay. There'll be 3 people tonight.
Yep, rejected.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
All right. I'm Spencer. That's Nas. This is a Different Spectrums podcast.
All right, everyone. Peace. Much love. And remember, take care of yourself.
Or don't.
Then that's up to you.
Bye.
Bye.